Stop scrolling. Look me in the eyes. I'm about to tell you something terrifying. Something you already suspect, but have never dared to admit. Every interaction you have with your boss, your partner, your best friend, is built on a silent battleground. You think you know people. You think you're safe. But the human mind has a shadow side, a dark engine driving all of us. And once you see the mechanism, you can't unsee it. Today, we're unlocking 7 dark psychology facts that will make you completely reevaluate your life, your relationships, and even yourself. Fact number 4 is the secret weapon used against you every day. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you won't just know dark psychology. You'll know how to protect yourself from it. Welcome back, seekers of truth. I'm Heart and Mind Facts, and on this channel, we dive deep into the uncomfortable truths of the mind. This isn't about becoming a master manipulator. This is about self-defense. It's about recognizing the subtle, often unconscious, tactics that people use to gain power, control, or simply get their way. It's a painful but necessary truth. The people you love most can use these facts against you. Let's start with a truth so simple, it's heartbreaking. Fact number 1. We value what might disappear, even if we already have it. This is the scarcity principle, twisted. Think about that person in your life who is always slightly out of reach. The friend who takes days to reply. The partner whose love feels conditional. Why does this behavior keep you hooked? Because your brain equates potential loss with high value. A manipulator understands this. Consistent, unconditional love is predictable, and a predictable reward system quickly loses its dopamine hit. They pull back their affection, their communication, their presence, creating a vacuum. And in your desperate need to fill that vacuum, you pour in more effort, more attention, more yourself. It's heart-touching because it preys on our deepest fear, being abandoned. Question for you. Who in your life makes you work the hardest just to feel noticed? Keep that person in mind. Fact number 2. Getting someone to do you a small favor makes them like you more, not less. The original Ben Franklin effect is positive. Asking a small favor tricks the person's brain into thinking, I did them a favor, therefore, I must like them. It's an easy hack for connection. But the dark side is this. Small favors are the gateway drug to control that a manipulator doesn't ask you for a favor they need. They ask for a favor that costs you nothing, but commits you to them. Can you just hold my bag for a minute? Can you quickly sign this form? Once you comply, you've established a mental precedent. You are the helper. They now have a subconscious anchor to leverage. The next request will be slightly bigger, and you'll find it harder to say no because your brain insists. I've helped them before. I can't back out now. That would make me inconsistent. Watch out for the small, unnecessary requests. They are often less about the task and more about establishing dominance through compliance. Fact number 3. Our deepest insecurities are often what we accuse others of. This is psychological projection. You know that person who constantly calls everyone a liar? They are likely the biggest secret keeper. The person who always points out how selfish their friends are? They are terrified of their own self-interest being exposed. The dark twist? Manipulators use projection as a deliberate shield. If they've cheated, they'll relentlessly accuse you of cheating. If they're lazy, they'll criticize your work ethic. It's a calculated offensive to keep you defensive and distracted. The emotional toll is powerful. It makes you question your own reality. You end up spending all your energy defending yourself against a phantom crime, while they get away with the actual one. When you hear an intense accusation, ask yourself, is this an observation or a confession? Fact number 4. People make the worst decisions when they are emotionally overwhelmed. Manipulators are masters of emotional flooding. They don't want you calm, rational, or thinking clearly. They want your emotional circuit breaker to blow. This isn't just a loud fight. It can be a sudden, overwhelming show of love bombing that blinds you to their flaws. It can be an instant escalation to screaming about your past mistakes until you're too exhausted to fight back. They create a psychological pressure cooker, a high-stakes emergency, where the only way out is to give them what they want. When you feel a conversation suddenly spike, when you go from 0 to 100 in seconds, that's the dark psychology at work. Your prefrontal cortex, the logical, rational part of your brain, shuts down. You are operating on pure, desperate emotion. The key to self-defense here is literally, walk away. Do not make a decision when you are flooded. Fact number 5. Uncertainty is more addictive than a guaranteed reward. This comes from behavioral psychology, and it's ruthless. A consistent partner, a reliable friend, they're great, but they don't produce a constant, frantic spike of dopamine. The dark manipulator practices intermittent reinforcement. They are great, then awful, warm, then ice cold. They give you a beautiful, intense high, followed by a painful, confusing low. Why? Because you become addicted to the hope that the good moment will return. That tiny, random drop of kindness after weeks of cruelty? It's not a change of heart. It's a perfectly timed dopamine hit that rewires your brain to wait for the next one. This is how cycles of abuse persist. It's emotionally wrenching because you're not in love with them. You're in love with the potential they occasionally flash. You deserve consistency. Fact number 6. We use negative talk about others to secretly feel better about ourselves that we often frame gossip as concern or just sharing. But deep down, it's often a social comparison game. When you hear a juicy, negative detail about someone else, especially someone successful, a part of your brain gets a small, dark jolt of satisfaction. It's the feeling of status leveling. The dark psychology here is that gossip can be weaponized to create a false sense of intimacy. A manipulator will share a scandalous secret about a third party with you. You feel special, trusted, and bonded to them. But in reality, they're showing you exactly what they're capable of doing to you later. Be wary of those who immediately share the flaws and secrets of others. The moment you are the target audience for their gossip, you are next in line to be the subject. Fact number 7. Giving an unasked for gift creates an invisible debt. The rule of reciprocity states that we feel obligated to return a favor. A healthy person gives to give. A dark psychologist gives to collect. This is the reciprocity trap. They give you a huge favor, a lavish gift, or an intense act of service that you never asked for. Why? To put you in a state of psychological indebtedness. When they later ask for something disproportionately large, your time, your money, your loyalty in a bad situation, you find it almost impossible to say no. You feel like you owe them. The feeling is powerful, heart-tugging, and completely manufactured. Real generosity is freely given. Manipulative reciprocity feels like a down payment on a future demand. If a gift feels too big, or if the giving seems too aggressive, your internal alarm should be sounding. We've peeled back the curtain on the human mind, and I know it can be a lot to process. But understanding this dark side is not about fear. It's about power. This isn't just theory. This is the truth that runs beneath every toxic friendship, every unfair workplace, and every controlling relationship. Your new defense system has 3 steps. Recognize the flood. When your emotions spike suddenly, do not make a decision. Say, I need 10 minutes, and walk away. Challenge the accusation. When someone projects a negative trait onto you, calmly ask, why do you feel the need to say that right now? True. Healthy people offer predictable respect and love, not sporadic, addictive hits of attention. You deserve to be seen for who you are, not for what you can be manipulated into. If this video gave you that unsettling, heart-pounding moment of recognition, hit the like button. Let me know in the comments below. Which of these 7 facts hit closest to home? The next step in your defense is to understand the narcissist's playbook. I've linked the video right here. Click it, watch it, and make sure your mental shield is fully charged. I'll see you there. Until then, stay strong and stay aware.